I believe that there's a misconception that men primarily benefit from patriarchy, but men, women, children, all of us have been hurt by patriarchy.
Yes.
Men benefit from it, yes, and we've all been hurt by it. And the large majority of brothers that I work with, they've been hurt by other men.
Yes.
And so this pain, this harm permeates through the generations,
Yes.
and it's a detriment to all of us. So here we are at this intersection, and what is our role as men to dismantle this current state of patriarchy?
Yes. And I feel so much emotion coming up in my heart. This is a big conversation, and it's a layered and nuanced conversation. And so we're just going to like get to some of it today.
Yeah.
But it feels like deep roots that need to, there's uprooting and also deep tending that needs to happen. I so agree that if we're specifically talking to the men, that they perpetuate this because it is part of their programming. Even the men that say, let's say they had an abusive father. And then they grow up and say, I don't want to be like my father. I'm going to be the opposite of my father. And that's what you hear many men say who want to do it differently. That is still giving energy to the patriarchy because you are reacting to the violence, right? You are saying, I'm going to be opposite of this violent man. It's not creating a new vision, right? And so this is here, and this is what I say to my students, that decolonization work is the dismantling, and also simultaneously we need to create the new earth. We need to vision it. We need to dream it in, right? Because if we're still stuck in the labels, if we're just fighting, then we are still colluding with the colonial reality. We are still metaphysically, spiritually allowing that reality to siphon our energy. We're still allowing that reality to connect to our psyche, right? And so to the men that are choosing to do things differently, that are wanting to be different, right? That don't align with the patriarchy. There's so many of them. But if you are still reacting, I don't want to be like this, and you think of the men in your life that have been violent, you are still allowing that to siphon your energy, right? And so really seeing a new way, right? And allowing, and again, the grief is coming up, allowing yourself to grieve that you didn't have a full life, that you were not given the opportunity to have a full lived life, that as a child you were forced to shut down your spirit, right? And so really I agree with the work of Bell Hooks, who writes a lot about the patriarchy, that for me I see the patriarchy and colonization as almost like a spiritual disease. It's really broken down our spirit, right? And for the men, it's the cost has been you being fully human in your emotions, in your experience, in touch with your spirituality.
So what I'm hearing is it's not to react, but to respond with the authenticity of our spirit, of our true nature, we could say.
Mm-hmm.
And in order to do that, we have to get out of our own way, and to, I mean, the way that I've seen it expressed is really through having a safe space. And then that's when we can come into contact with that inner essence, of the men that we want to be, of the women that we want to be, and how we want to show up in that new way, in that new vision.
Yes.
And that takes, I mean, that takes a lot of deep work to be able to get to
It
that,
does.
specific place of authenticity where we're not reacting to a story, but
Yes.
we're only attuning to the truth of our essence. I mean, I don't know another word
Yes.
for it.
Yeah, your soul.